Hello heroes and villains of all shapes and sizes, my name is Jordan and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a if you like this popular book on BookTube, you may very well like this anime or manga. And the reason I'm lumping anime and manga together is because usually they are very similar. The only difference usually being that anime comes second, it's usually a more condensed version of the manga, and maybe it doesn't have as much background details or continue further on into the story. So if you're wondering which I would recommend, it would actually probably be the anime because I went into this thinking about what anime I've watched rather than what manga I've read. But if you do like the anime and you want to continue on, the manga is the place to go to find out more about what happens in the story. So I have 5 books here to talk about. We have 2 adults and then 3, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. We have 2 adults and then 3 young adults, and I'm going to be pairing up an anime to each of these, but just know you do have a reading option. This is a bookish channel and you can read the manga if you so want to do so. Alright, starting off, we have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, the first book in the Mortal Instruments series that started it all. I mean, people are still talking about Cassandra Clare today. She's still writing. It's amazing. And for this, I'm recommending probably the most popular anime on this list, and that is Ao no Exorcist. Ao no Exorcist, or Blue Exorcist, is also an urban fantasy. It follows a younger boy who's in high school who believes the world is just fine until he discovers that demons exist. Not only that, but his father is Satan, and not the Disney kind of Satan that adds comedy to the story. No, his dad wants to burn the world and rule its ashes. His son is not okay with that, and so he joins the exorcists, or shadow hunters maybe, and he learns how to exorcise demons. He's in training to learn how to defeat his father. The anime focuses a lot on family, on friendships, and there's a lot of action. I will say though that this book in the series focuses a lot around romance. The anime does not do that. I think, if I'm remembering right, there is a touch of romance, if not in the anime, in the manga, but it is definitely not the center. It's more so if you like the action and the plot of what happens in here, then you'll like the anime. I personally really did, and I think you will too. There we go. First book down. Now we're moving on to Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This is everyone's favorite fantasy author and everyone's favorite fantasy book, or at least their favorite beginning book. Everyone talks about this. And for this, I'm going to be recommending one of my all-time favorite animes, Code Geass. Now, Code Geass follows some similar plot points as this book does. It is in a world that is very much like our own, except Britannia, this country, has taken over and is now the only ruling force, similar to the Lord Ruler in this book. And we follow our young protagonist who is in high school. He's a bit of a genius. His name is Lelouch, and he is going about his everyday life until one day he gets caught in the crossfires between the Britannian army and rebellion soldiers. And as he's in this life and death situation, he discovers a power called Code Geass, and he decides that he's going to use this power to take down Britannia once and for all. So it is similar to this book in that we have a young character like Vin who is trying to defeat this evil ruling force. But I would say that Lelouch as a character, he's willing to do whatever it takes to get to what he wants. And because of that, he is more like Kelsier. If you like Kelsier in this book, you're going to love Lelouch. Lelouch is very charismatic. He's very smart, intelligent, scheming, genius, and all around really good character. I really like him. I also want to point out that the politics, the strategy, the warfare that is in the anime is up to par with Brandon Sanderson, and it is absolutely mind-bending. I devoured that anime. It's about 2 seasons. It's kind of old. I think it's gained more traction because it was put on Netflix. So if you want to watch that there, you can do so. Dun dun dun. Moving on to book number 3, we have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Yes, everyone's favorite YA series, even if they don't like YA, apparently. I didn't really like this book myself, but I'm going to be recommending an anime that I really liked, and that is The Daughter of 20 Faces. It is about a young girl who's being poisoned by her aunt and uncle. Because she is an heiress, she has a lot of money, and her aunt and uncle really want that money, so they're trying to off her. And one day she is rescued by a man called 20 Faces. He is called 20 Faces because he is notorious as the most famous heistman. He can get anything he wants, and in this case he gets this young girl, and wow, that like sounded really wrong when I put it that way, but not in that weird way. I mean that he saves her from her family and takes her into his heist gang and is training her to be his protege. And like this one, it is a group of close-knit characters, really great characters that have to rely and depend upon each other for the missions they go on. Like in this book, there's a lot of heists. There is also an undercurrent of magic, if I'm remembering right, that doesn't really take over the story, but it is there, just like the Grisha verse is still in this book. Overall, I think it's just a fun time if you want to know about some heist stories. It is also a story, though, that deals with trauma that happens to our young protagonist, just like it happens to Kaz. There is a lot of heartbreak that does happen in the anime, but it maintains a sort of lighthearted tone that I think will really match the YA tones of this book. All right, moving on, we are going to a personal favorite of mine, and that is Red Rising. Is this upside down? This is upside down. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I love this book so much. I'm going to be recommending another favorite of mine as an anime, and that is Jyu Oh Sei, Planet of the Beast King. It is also a science fiction story, and it is based in a world where people have left Earth and gone to live on different planets, and our main character, Thor, starts off the anime, he's 12 years old, and he witnesses the murder of his parents, and because of that, he and his twin are sent to another planet to cover up what happened. And when they wake up on that planet, they discover that it is a carnivorous planet, that there are man-eating plants, that there are very few people there, and the people that are there are either sent there to cover things up, or they're criminals sent there so that they will no longer be a danger to society. So this is a very cold world that they're being sent to. It's very chaotic, man eat man, and Thor has to grow up and learn in this kind of situation. He also discovers that the only way to get off of this planet is to become the Jyu Oh Sei, or the leader of all the gangs in this planet, the top dog, if you will. And so he has to do whatever it takes to do that. He is very similar to Darrow in that his whole reason for starting out on this process is because of family and the death of a family member. And like Darrow, he has to rise to the top in a situation that he's entirely not accustomed to. Like, he does not know what's happening, and he grows up in this anime series and he has to learn, and there's a lot of hard things that he goes through. It's very sad. But overall, it's a great anime, and if you like this, I think you're gonna like that. Moving on to our last book we have here. It is the OG of the YA booktube community, and that is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. People love her, people hate her, people talk about her, and that's the point of this video for these books. So for this, I had trouble pinpointing a specific anime to recommend because I think there are really two parts to this story. You have the first part that it starts off on, this female assassin who's dealing with an underbelly of a world, with having death constantly surround her and having to cause it or not cause it, and the gray morality that lines that path. If you like that, I would more so recommend an anime like Canaan, which also deals with a female assassin, with struggling with who to save, who not to, and also keeping your loved ones safe. But that is a very sad and dark anime, I will tell you. And it is not what I'm going to recommend overall for this. I think to keep in line with the overarching theme of this series, I'm going to recommend Yona of the Dawn. Yona of the Dawn is about a princess, Yona, who's very pampered until one day her dad is killed by her cousin, and her cousin takes over as king, and Yona is forced out with her guard in the dead of night in order to hopefully survive and one day win back her kingdom. She is not a fighter like Selena is to start off with. She more so grows and learns how to be one. But she is a character who feels responsible for her kingdom like Selena does, who sees what is happening to her people and the unfairness of it all, and really feels the responsibility to fix everything that's happening. Also, like in this series, there is romance happening in Yona of the Dawn, if you liked that, because I know this is a huge part of the series. I would even say that some people call Yona of the Dawn a reverse harem. I don't personally think so, because that section of the anime doesn't take itself seriously. And even my brother, who doesn't really like romance, really liked the anime, so if you're worried about that, I don't think you have to be. It is a really great anime that, if you like this, I think you're gonna like it. If you're wondering where I'm throwing these books, by the way, it's on my bed, so they're safe, happy, and tucked in. You don't have to worry about them. Those are all the books that I have to talk about, and the anime/manga that I recommend if you like them. I hope you found something that you want to watch from this video, and if you did, let me know. Also, if you've watched any or read any of these, let me know, because I don't really hear a lot of people talk about any of these, except maybe Exorcist, and 10 points to you if you have. Like and subscribe, as they say, and I will see you in my next video very soon.